Hi everyone, Conservation Chick here. I went to Key Largo, Florida to go diving, and while I was there, I was inspired by new local friends, Dave and Marilyn, or as they call him, Pirate Dave. I realized how much the community is passionate about ocean conservation and supportive about research, awareness, and magnitude of growing problems there. They have lived there all their lives and they think every day about how the fish population and biodiversity is changing there, and not in a good way. I interviewed them because we want to help inform everyone about this and bring awareness to the livelihood of the Key Largo community. Hi everyone, I'm here with Marilyn and Dave, and we connected here in Key Largo, Florida because we both have this place in a special place in our hearts, and they've noticed something here about the fish biodiversity. And today we're gonna ask a few questions and learn more about this community. Hi Marilyn and Dave, thank you so much for being here today. So can you tell me a little bit about how you guys ended up in Key Largo and your lives since you've been here in Key Largo, Florida?
I'll start with myself. My aunt and uncle ended up having a little cottage here in the Keys, and I've been coming here since I was 9 years old. And the fish back then were so plentiful that I could go out to their wooden dock in the morning or any time of the day and you would see fish everywhere. I would go out fishing with my Uncle Carl and we would come back with a ton of fish. Today, when you go to the docks, you see very few fish at all, which really saddens me because I remember the way it was compared to the way it is today.
I guess I'm next. I was born in Miami, so was she. And my dad used to bring me to the Keys when I was a kid to go fishing. You didn't have to be there all day because you'd catch a bunch of fish in a short amount of time. It was just wonderful. And so that's what attracted me to the Keys. And so I used to come as a young kid. And what she said about seeing fish everywhere, they were everywhere. Lobster were everywhere. I could walk down right there and just grab big lobster, go upstairs and cook them, whatever. And it was just so plentiful. I remember there was a much greater diversity of the fish. I mean, there were parrotfish here, tropical fish here, right here on the bayside, which you don't see anymore. You will see them on the ocean, but you won't see them here. And I think the biggest change, aside from the volume, is that now there's no fishing. I think that there's several different factors why it's not like that anymore. One is environmental factors, and that is storms. Irma, which was the most recent hurricane that we had, impacted the Keys. Before that, the last one that had a big impact was Wilma. Wilma, it just changed the whole vibe. When it leaves, it sucks it all out. And when I tell you sucks it all out, you could literally walk from here to those islands out there. It's muck, it's muck, takes it all out, and then it comes back in. And when that happens, all the fish die. And it takes time for those species to recover. And the changes that have taken place in Florida Bay with the lack of fresh water and the salinity changes.
So the salinity went up?
Yeah, salinity is very high in Florida Bay right now. And then also when they do dump fresh water down here, it just creates algae blooms because it's got so much algae from Lake Okeechobee. Now it's so sad to see that we don't have much left. I mean, you can walk out there on the dock and you'll see maybe a couple little snapper and stuff like that, but you don't see the diversity of the fish. And the sizes were much bigger. Another problem that we have is the pressure, the human pressure on fishing, and it doesn't give them a chance to recover. Florida has been influenced by an influx of many different nationalities that come from different places where they don't have the same understanding or educational level that we have, and therefore don't think they need to protect it. They just kind of abuse it.
They don't abide by the restrictions that have been placed upon fishing. We have different size limits and all of that. They don't care. They just catch whatever they can catch.
Is there laws in place?
Yes, but there aren't enough patrolling. There's just not enough people out there to patrol what's going on. And so they get away with it, unfortunately.
We saw that today.
Mm-hmm. Education is really important on the dive boats and snorkel boats and the swimmers. And you can't touch coral because it'll start dying and it'll take years to come back. And I've seen that in the Bahamas. We've tried to put areas where the tourists come and there's like billboards that tell them what to do, what not to do to save the water and the reefs. So do they all read it and comply with it? I don't know, that's debatable, but we're trying really hard. And the lionfish, we forgot to mention that. Every lionfish eats so many tropical fish, and it was originally in someone's water tank, their saltwater aquarium, and they just released it into the ocean. And so now they've replenished so fast that they're totally destroying our reefs. So here they have derbies where you go out and catch as many as you can, and they actually feed you this fish at restaurants. Little fillets, but they're doing everything they can to try to get rid of the lionfish. They even have people that make necklaces out of you've seen that?
Lionfish derbies.
Yes.
And eat it as food at restaurants.
And make jewelry.
Yeah, make jewelry. So, I know this is only one part of the world, and I know this Key Largo is a leader in ocean conservation, but have you seen the city or the citizens try to do anything to fix this problem?
As I mentioned, we have the reef. They're trying to educate people. They're trying to replace the coral. They have seminars at our local community centers to try to educate people. So, yes.
But Reef is a company here, and by them restoring the coral and putting in artificial reefs, is that it draws in a lot of fish populations, which can help restore the fish populations here.
And it also brings tourists in the area because they love to dive, and without that they have nothing to really dive for. We have a lot of sunken ships that are nice to dive around, and you see a lot of fish in those areas. John Pennycamp National Park. But it's everything that we do that makes a difference. We can't stop doing any of it. We have to keep improving what we're doing. I think that's our job as human beings, to try to protect them and keep catching those lionfish. And they really are destroying our reefs. It's horrible. Also, the Everglades National Park has tried to put in restrictions on fishing because that whole park was being overfished. The restrictions that are being placed upon the guides here in the Keys. Yeah. And Dave probably has more to add to that.
The Florida Keys Fishing Guides Association is doing a lot to try to educate and control, improve what we have.
The park is trying to restrict where they can go in the park.
If this problem never got solved or no one knew about it, what do you think would happen?
Well, you would no longer have reefs, you would no longer have tourism here in the Keys, but whatever happens here at our reefs impacts reefs all throughout the world. Everything that people do in the waterways makes a difference. A lot of the cruise ships dump trash into the water, and you'll find it all along the shoreline on the ocean side. You know that has to impact the turtles because they think that the water bottle are food, and they eat straws and a lot of different things that destroy them. And so we have to be more aware of dumping stuff in the ocean. Plastics are very bad. After Hurricane Irma, you would find those bags all throughout the islands. They were blown in there, and people that cared about our environment here would go in their boats and grab them all down, and all this stuff that flew into the island.
There were a lot of groups that got together and planned an outing and beach, an area of the water that there was a lot of trash in. And the community just came together to do that. And it was really a beautiful thing.
Hopefully this video helps too. Telling everyone about the awareness of how people live here and how it impacts them personally. And how it impacts our oceans, more importantly.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to sum it up.
So thank you guys so much.